today I'm just going to be quickly going over and showing you guys how I made this contemporary modern house that I came up with. I'm going to show you guys through exactly what I did. I've recorded the whole thing and just cut it down to all the parts that really actually need to be seen. Some parts are kind of redundant, but I've gone ahead and come up with this video now, and I'm just gonna narrate over what I think needs a bit of commentary. I'm not gonna talk over the whole video, just for the sake of, well, it doesn't need to be done. So starting here, we're just working on the basic shape. This will go on for a fair bit, and you'll see me experimenting with different heights and widths, and just trying to tie everything together with enough depth. Because in contemporary house design and modern house design, you see a lot of very sharp edges and shapes that they reflect a very sleek and kind of minimal aesthetic, and that's what I've tried to go on here, but with a little more complexity to the shapes, because I've tried to incorporate more than you would normally find in a real world example of a modern house. So you'll see that here. So you'll have noticed by now that the video is sped up in certain spots, because I just feel like it's a little repetitive what the actual actions are in these sections. So I've gone ahead and increased the speed so that we can get through them a little more quickly. I've also used white concrete in this build quite predominantly. Just because I find it's probably the cleanest block, most simplest, very plain white, and it just kind of represents the theme that we're going for here, which is contemporary modern. I've also used oak wood, but you'll see that changes. My block selection changes quite a bit throughout the build, and in certain bits I'll cut through it or sped it up to skip through those parts of me replacing blocks. A useful side note that I should probably include is that I'm playing this in Minecraft 1.14.4 with Optifine, obviously, and the shaders pack that I'm using throughout this build is Silda's medium shaders. But at the end, I do switch to extreme shaders just to show off the build a little more. One of the big things I was going for when I was making this build is that I wanted to have it as free-flowing as I could have it. I didn't want to I didn't want to go onto like Google and find an image of a modern home that somebody already built in Minecraft and then just try to emulate that. I wanted to, just off the top of the head, I wanted to come up with as creative a solution as I could to to approach this build, and I think I was able to accomplish that quite well by the end. Throughout the initial stages and the stages in the middle, you'll see that the build is a little bit messy. It's quite chaotic at some points. That's just me trying to find a good balance between the blocks that I'm using, the shapes that I'm creating with them, and the overall flow, aesthetically and ergonomically of the build, because I don't want it to be impractical. So, just a bit of foresight into this build. Just then, you would have seen me working on that little to the left there, that little wooden section off the side of the house. And matter of fact, later on into the build, you'll see that it presented quite a problem to me. I'm trying to work that into the flow of the building, which was my mistake. I should have accounted for the actual space that I would have ended up with at the end, because I didn't think about that when I started making that part of the house, and in fact it came back to bite me in the end, and I've had to change that, which you'll see later. So here you'll see me start changing all the blocks from this oak wood plank to light grey concrete. This was, like I mentioned before, one of the big changes that I made to the build, and you'll see that again gets changed further on in the build due to my indecisiveness, we'll say. But the light grey didn't work too bad, but at the same time not too well. It was better than the oak. The oak was quite jarring when it was all put together in such a mass. But here we see the light grey, and it's not bad. I think light grey and oak wood, respectively, they both work well in moderated amounts. But again, like I did here, it looks okay, but it's not as good as I was hoping it would be. Now here again, I'm just changing up the staircase feature here, because I feel like it's the edges and the lines of this staircase that I had there was not quite flowing with the shape of the structure. So I decided to switch it up and go for a different direction for the staircase. Now here you'll see me start punching out the windows, so that first of all there can be a bit of light in there as I'm building inside, but also I'm kind of setting out the general location of where I feel like the windows should be. So this is what I mentioned before when I said that this area gave me quite a bit of trouble. It was just hard to fit this this kind of corner, this section into the house, because it was inside it was quite restrictive. The space wasn't quite enough. Here, just then you would have seen me open it up by another block's width, and in the end that's what I finished the build with. So here I'm expanding, I'm raising the ceiling and the roof level of that top floor room. That ends up being the bedroom, and at the moment it's only 2 blocks high in there, which is a little intrusive when you're actually within that space. So I've gone ahead and raised it by 2 blocks here, and then that lets me raise the living space on the ground floor up a block as well. So I was able to raise the the ground floor and the first floor by 1 block by increasing that ceiling and headspace. So here again, I'm returning to the problem corner, and I figured that by now this would be the staircase section, connecting the ground and the first floor together. So here you'll see me begin to add an extension to the first floor. This little hallway wasn't there previously, and so I put it in to connect the staircase back to the middle area that connects that also to the bedroom. Keep in mind that this house is it's meant to be very high class, contemporary, modern, sleek, minimal, and due to my poor space management inside, I only managed to insert a living space and a bedroom space. So there is no kitchen, bathroom, laundry, dining space, etc. Just the living and the bedroom. So here we start to see that I've changed my mind on the light grey concrete, and I've switched now sorry, I've switched now to almost the entire building to be white concrete. But you'll see in a second that I do accent the white and the dark grey concrete with some light blue concrete. And I think that just gives it a nice little touch of color. So you might see now that in the bedroom, due to the outside structure, I was only able to incorporate those I forget the name for those windows, but the ones that are near the ceiling, and they're more commonly used just for allowing sunlight and natural light to come in. You don't actually get the chance to see out of them often, since they are placed just under the ceiling and just out of your line of sight. I think the switch to to just the white concrete gives the building a much more clean and sterile atmosphere. Although it is a home and sterile might not be what you're looking for. Personally, that's my taste. I think it's very aesthetically appealing to have that kind of clean, kind of almost blank canvas, like I'd say, aesthetic. So as I mentioned before, those windows up in the bedroom, um, they were quite limited before, but now that I've had a bit of work done, I've gone ahead and been able to open up this magnificent view of the ocean and the adjacent mountains. I've also gone ahead now and, like I mentioned before, the light blue concrete accenting that I was able to incorporate. Really, it's a nice subtle touch that really helps sell the house a bit more. Here again, I've gone for a nice wide panorama view on the lower ground floor, right under the bedroom. So they both have very nice sweeping views of the ocean and the adjacent mountains. Now, forgive me, it started to rain in the game here, so as I was building this, I didn't pay any attention to it, but looking back retrospectively, I should have cleared the weather up a little sooner than I did, just because it makes everything a little darker in viewing afterward. So here you'll see me working on the staircase again, just bringing it out a little bit more so that it has a slightly smoother appearance. Here again, I'm just working on the outside touch a little bit, just expanding this this section here, just to give it a little bit more of a roomy and a spacious feeling. Now with the staircase that I previously put in, that was very temporary. I've gone ahead now, and in this section I've actually redone the staircase with spruce wood, which is I feel fitting of the environment around the house itself. So here we've just gone with a very simple staircase design, and this takes us up into the hallway. I've gone ahead and added a window into the end of the hallway so it's not so bleak and dark in there. now the bulk of the structure is completed, so I've gone ahead and started fitting in some interior designs and furnishings. So here you'll see me starting to fit the bedroom. Again, the carpet is light grey, and I feel like that complements the white quite well. Similar to the blue on the outside, but it's not quite as vibrant, but it still accents the palette quite well. So here I'm putting a little bit of greenery and shrubbery to the build, just so that it livens up the place a little bit. So although I did mention that I did like the sterile feeling and the clean minimal aesthetic, with so much white it can be overpowering. So here I've gone ahead and added in what I'd say is a nice controlled amount of shrubbery inside and outside, just so it adds a bit of life to the build. So I've decided here to add a little patch of grass up on the first floor, just because I feel like having the house as two distinct floors and limiting the foliage to only one, it doesn't quite give a balance to the entire building itself. So you'll see me putting in some tall grass here, and from the ground floor you'll be able to actually see a little bit of that picking up, which I feel like is a very nice touch. Here I'm putting some more bushes slash hedges next to the staircase, just so that in entering the building and approaching it, it feels a little more homely and natural. So putting in this rug into the entrances, I think the last thing I do inside the house, and on the outside I feel just feeling like putting in a water feature, because who doesn't love a water feature on the house? So I've gone ahead and just done this simple kind of waterfall effect off the side, and here is the showcase. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, or at least found something new that you haven't known before about building in Minecraft. Whether it be, you know, a good block combination that you've seen in the video, or um, otherwise a good proportion, shape, or just, you know, hopefully this video inspires you in some way. So thank you again for watching if you made it to the end here, and hopefully I'll be able to make another video like this. So thank you.